Welcome back, mouth breathers. Last time I said that it sounded like milk breathers and it didn't make sense. Now we're not satisfied with 2 turbos. It did run like this, as you've seen in the last video. But we gotta add the 3rd turbo in. So today we're gonna take the exhaust from these 2 turbos, put it into this one, the intake from this one into these 2 turbos. Hopefully it sounds like a not dying Subaru like it did last time. And we can finally compound this bad boy. Let's get started. Start by setting up our little flywheel stand underneath. It's just a threaded rod into a flywheel. That was way better than doing it by hand. The center section can basically be pointed any direction you want to. Ideally, you want the oil feed in the top, the oil return facing straight down. But if you loosen these bolts and these bolts, the center section will actually spin freely from the compressor and the exhaust side, or you can individually clock the compressor or the exhaust side to point this flange and this flange wherever you feel like it. I'm really just trying to figure out the best way to package this so it doesn't look really dumb. And if you want a chance to win our super cool pit trike, it's a 420cc engine. I built this custom exhaust for it. In fact, I built this whole frame. It's a one-off unique thing. You can't buy this on the shelf anywhere, which means nobody else is gonna have this. Only one of you guys. Every $1 spent at boostedlifestyle.com will get you 1 entry. Pick yourself up a hat, a shirt, a key tag. But don't miss out, as this giveaway is coming to a close real shortly, and you don't wanna miss your opportunity to win this bad boy. Not bad, I'll take it. For an average welder Joe. I don't know much about welding, but that looks like it's welded together. Now from experience, I know it's gonna be way easier to weld this side on completely, get the shrinkage out of it, and then try and bridge this gap. I purposely left it more towards this side because the turbine actually comes out this side and comes up. So just go from here into the bottom of the turbo after we've got this merge built, which this pipe is probably going to be the hardest pipe to build out of the whole setup. And now that's the hardest piece. These were eBay 2.5-inch V-band clamps. I do have a Black Sheep Industries V-band clamp. I had to mail the little male end off it, but Black Sheep Industries, our own company, if you want to check them out, blacksheepindustries.ca. We're having a May Madness sale if you want to go check it out. And remember to use code BOOSTEDLIFESTYLE at checkout. It's actually going to be way easier to build this pipe and slip it into here than it is to have this solid fixed and try and jiggle this pipe. That's why I did it. Let's see. Dang. Look at us go. That fits pretty decently in there. So I'm going to bring the welder over. I'm going to pull this one tight into here, tack weld it in as many places as I can get it so it doesn't move at all. Completely weld it up, and it should just fit the way that it's fitting right now. Now I don't like pulling my welder too far away from the wall here. So what I like to do, because the ground cable's not long enough, I'll just put a piece of pipe in there and then ground it through the pipe. I'm so smart sometimes. Get on there. What are you doing, clamp? All right, before we build the pipe that goes from that turbo to this turbo, I'd like to brace this turbo in place before we start building off of it. So I have to figure out a way to brace this turbo. And originally I was gonna brace it to here, but that doesn't make sense because the engine mounts in this thing aren't solid mounts, they're still pulley mounts, which means there's gonna be too much movement and that's not going to work. So I have to go from the manifold somewhere to brace this turbo. Then we're gonna take a piece of flat plate, build a bracket to go into here where the drain will go, and then we can join some pipes up to that just to brace this thing off. Probably the manifold, to be honest. Something like that. Perfect. Bolt that down, get it back in place. Just temporarily putting the bolts in. We still have to put a flange here. Don't worry, we'll get it. One side tacked into place right here, and then the other side is actually gonna be more direct down straight, so that one's gonna help support majority of the weight of it. And this turbo isn't super heavy, so between when this bolts up to here and this brace and this brace, it should be pretty solid up here. And there you have it, both braces done. Now we can take this turbo off and hopefully just weld it up in place, because taking it off seems like not very fun to pull the manifold right now. I'm not exactly sure if I built this so it won't come off. So I did slide the plate in there, and then I don't know. You gotta be able to come off. Oh, there it goes. That just might suck to get on and off, but it is what it is. Definitely not the most friendly piece to put back on, but that's how we had to brace it, so like that. Awkward as shit. But it fits. So we've got this pipe right here, and it's gonna fit kind of like that. Now it doesn't exactly perfectly fit, but I left a little bit on the long side, so when I do weld these up, because we know about shrinkage, it should shrink down into place. And then we can weld up that, because that goes up and into the turbo. Dun 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 dun. Shark music. It's gonna fit in there somewhat like that. It's a little bit off on the bottom, that's because the tape isn't holding very good. Sticky tape. There we go, just like that. This part is welded up, so we'll tack weld it on the car, take it off, weld it, and hopefully it doesn't shift too much. It's definitely one of the weirder, like, female internal organ looking things I've ever made. I'll admit it. Time to weld it up. Now we just have to casually beat the corners out of this flange to fit the flange. Those are manageable gaps. Boom! 2 turbos into 1 turbo. I need to make this flange flat now, but we're going places, man. Maybe not far places, but we're gonna maybe go places. Now we can use my worn asshole belt. change this belt. This ain't doing anything. All I got left is a 120, so hopefully that does something. Good enough for me. And there you have it. We successfully mated 3 turbos on the backside. We successfully mated on the backside. And now eventually we're gonna have to find a spot for a Black Sheep Industries Wastegate. These things are super, super badass. They're our own company, they're our own design, they're a piston style wastegate. You don't have to worry about the diaphragm and the inside failing. We've torture tested these things up to like a bajillion degrees, and that is a number. And they're reasonably priced. If you wanna check them out, blacksheepindustries.ca. Code word Boosted Lifestyle will get you a discount at checkout, so make sure you check it out. And like I said earlier, we are having a May Madness sale, so you want to just go check it out anyways, blacksheepindustries.ca. Now, of course, we're this far into it, we need to see if it still sounds like a dumb Subaru, like a broken Subaru, sorry. Which means we need an oil feed line, an oil drain line at the minimum to fire this thing up. The problem being the stupid fitting in the top of these things, I forgot, being GT35 eBay, is that it's like a brake line fitting flare. So we're gonna just weld a dash 4 fitting onto the top of that, and then we'll come from our little rail system here that we built for the 4 turbos, and we're gonna take oil from there, and then we need to build something to go back into one of these random tubes that we built last time. Yeah, that's soda hose, but that's what we used to use back in the 2000s to build oil return lines. Ask me how I know. I was born then. I'm actually getting really good at the combining 2 fittings to make a fitting thing. Probably should use a battery that has some juice in it, huh? There you go. I built you a little home. And now we can just weld that. I'm so good at making jank fittings. And there's only one way to cool down a jank fitting. Those fumes probably aren't good for me, are they? Dang, happy May the 4th, getting 420 WD-40'd. And obviously there's only one way to tighten a jank fitting, and that's with the any size hammer. Mint. It'll probably still leak though. Now the easiest thing I can think of, and is equally as janky as the first thing we did, we're just gonna tap this piece right here. Also, I've owned DeWalt tools for like a jillion years now. I had no idea that you just like did that to tighten it. I thought you had to like hold on to it while giving her the beans, but nope, you just ratchet it. I'm so stupid sometimes. We might want to take this pipe off down here, the intake pipe after, because I forgot that that was exposed. Nope, still doesn't want to go very good. I then realized if I attached any fitting to this piece, I wouldn't be able to slide the turbo on the way that I do slide the turbo on. Can't do that. Y'all didn't see that fitting. That's another jank fitting for another jank fitting. And here it is. We have oil going to all 3 turbos now. We ain't just talking about it, we doing it. Now we get to see if it sounds like a stupid broken Subaru, Peg when he's sleeping, or a decent Honda. Or something else different. I forgot to plug off one of our oil. I forgot to plug off this oil right there. But it sounded so quiet. I got oil literally everywhere, and I had a pan right next to it, ironically. Just not where it needed to be. Who would have thought a Honda would be so quiet with 3 mufflers on it? Because that's basically what a turbo is a muffler. Now that we've literally evacuated all the oil and then refilled it, and now a bunch of it's just on the floor, we'll try and start it up again. It does sound super quiet, so we'll fire it up and then I'll put a sound clip of what it sounded like with just 2 turbos, and you can hear the difference a lot. What the heck? That doesn't sound aggressive at all. Cool though, different. I wonder how the spooling noise is gonna sound. All right, so here it sits. We have to do charge piping next, and we have to put a wastegate on this pipe, and we have to reconnect the wastegate on this one. This one's connected, it just has to be reclocked. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward and simple. It sounds super, super quiet compared to the twins, but that's the look. And you can actually see really well at the windshield. It's gonna be fun to drag race this thing, I think. All right, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and make sure you subscribe so you get the notification for video 3 where we actually get to rip this thing. Have fun, peace easy, get that V, and go to boostedlifestyle.com. Every $1 spent there gets you 1 entry for the trike. Peace.